Welcome to the 507 Podcast, a ministry of First Baptist Church in Bay Minette. Episodes are recorded in the Beans on Hand coffee shop located on Han Avenue in downtown Bay Minette, Alabama. For more information, check them out on Facebook. In this episode, we continue our discussion about technology in the church. Now, let's get to the talk with host Joel Carter.
As we interviewed you, of course, this was during COVID and everything was done over Zoom or FaceTime or whatever. Yeah, when me and Mark and Chris were sitting at the church, each one in a different office on a Zoom call, and we interview you over the internet. And but this is what really, I don't want to say sold me on you, but this is where I saw your heart. Was that you said, look, you were sitting in your car with your phone, and you said, guys, I'm sorry about this. I had everything set up in the church, my perfect little spot to do this interview, and about 20 minutes ago, these ladies came in and said they had scheduled, they thought they were having a Bible study in that room. So I set them up, and I had to run out here to do this. That showed me, or told me, that your heart for ministry was more important, that these ladies having their Bible study was more important than a job interview for you, which was your family's livelihood. That God's work being done in their life was more important. That's all I needed to hear was for your heart for ministry. Because it said, what God's doing in their heart and in their lives is the most important thing in my life right now. That's the heart of a minister. And that's why I was so excited when, this is the guy.
Well, it was pretty obvious in the interview process with Ben that it wasn't just somebody that was going to press record and hit a button and do this, that, and the other.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. No, we'll edit that out. Because we knew that position was not going to be just somebody that hits a button. We could find anybody to hit a button or hold a camera up.
Hey, we were doing that.
Yeah, we were doing
doing that.
We were tired of doing that. But we knew it was all the answers that he gave us was like, okay, this is a ministry position. There's no question that this is a calling in a life of somebody. And, there's been some great response from people about the work that he's doing and how it looks so much better. It's kind of heartbreaking. God, it looks so much better. I was all here, man, what are y'all doing?
I think it was our desire to want to do it. We were doing it, but to do it better. Just to notch higher.
Sure.
You bring a level of professionalism that Mark and I would probably
never
get to. Right. We were figuring things out as we went along.
Right.
Every week we were figuring things out.
And we get a little bit better every week.
We did get better as we went along.
It was good stuff.
But you're talking about the pre-recording, because we did live shots on location, and we did pre-recording, and then Mark would spend 3 or 4 days trying to record, edit together with what you do in like 15 minutes. It was intense what we were doing, but to watch God bring all this together, for us to feel that poignancy of this is something that I've called and equipped and trained somebody to do, and then marry that up with that person. It's incredible to watch him work and to see him bring a team together. Now, you did mention you mentioned daughters and Casey. Tell us a little bit about your family real quick.
I've been married to Casey for 12 years. My wife, she's a stay-at-home mom here now officially. She homeschools my oldest daughter, Addie. She's 10. And then my youngest daughter, Blake, she actually goes to Bay Minette Elementary. A little side note, she is autistic. So with the autism, initially we wanted to homeschool both our girls. But with Blake, she needs structure that the Lockridges cannot seem to aspire to, I guess. But anyway, that's why she's there, and she's doing well with that. Yeah. She seems to like what she's doing, and we love Bay Minette. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. We genuinely like it. We just moved into a house, and Blake has a room to go and scream into, so that's always a good thing. If there's any autism people out there, they understand where I'm coming from. But we're good. We're happy. Well,
and since then, like I said, we talked about what the pre-COVID numbers were on our live stream. A couple of hundred people, or about 100 people. And then during COVID, a couple of hundred, people, 300 people a week, kind of watching at different times across the whole week. Since then, what have our numbers? The only reason I talk about numbers is because to see what God is doing.
It's shifted. The numbers are less, but that's because you have in-person services now. So I would say half of your congregation is in service and the other half is watching from home now. Your numbers are still stronger than they were pre-COVID. You're talking 20 20 on one. You're about 45 to 50 on average. You've got about 50 if you count all the platforms that we broadcast over. So still strong numbers, and that need will always be there, even when COVID's over and everybody's in church. You still need that. You still have shut-ins. You still have that problem, but what I'm focused on now is we're doing that, and I think we're doing that well now. Where do we go from there? Mm-hmm. How do we expand? I've always believed, and again, I never knew how it was going to work, but when Jesus said in Scripture, and I'm paraphrasing to death, but when he said you would do greater things than even I did, personally, I believe that's technology. I think the fact that we can reach anybody, anywhere, instantaneously. I think COVID forced us to finally use the resources he's gifted us with.
And I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I really.
And so that's where I am now, and that's why we are sitting here now doing this, because we think this is another way to spread the gospel. In different wrappers, mind you, but that's why we're here today, just trying to expand that ministry.
This is a podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's jump on that for a second.
Right.
We would not be doing this, even 6 months ago. We would have said podcast, oh yeah, somebody does that. But I don't think I know this part of we. Never 6 months ago, I didn't say, oh yeah, by November we're going to be doing a podcast. But at the same time, it was just, I'm not going to use the word, well, I am going to use the word organic. It was just a natural flow into this, but it's also, God has prepared the groundwork to get us into this realm of, okay, next steps, podcast. And Ben, you're doing a great job with our social media and eventually getting it to our website, just all of these things that are going to be coming. So,
and that's exactly where I wanted to go. In addition to the live stream, what are the other things that you're doing at First Baptist?
We just talked about a podcast, and we're working on that now. Obviously, this is what I look at. Where are people going right now? Okay, and I say, now how can we be there in front of them? How can we put Jesus right in front of them? If they're on Facebook, by jig, we need to be there. If they are on Twitter, we need to be there. If they are on YouTube, we need to be there. If they're on TikTok, which, by the way, we now have a TikTok. I don't know if y'all knew that. That just happened this week. So that's a new development.
There you go, Megan. You'll be on TikTok.
Your micro message is a TikTok as of this week. You heard it here. Dr. Starnes is on TikTok. Who?
TikTok star.
But and it actually has gotten likes. Last time I checked, it's gotten over 300 views.
Wow.
It's the one that was just text based. God has a plan. That the one that one of your sermons. I do micro messages. Just taking the finer points of Dr. Starnes' messages and putting them in bite-sized format. I try to do those on Mondays so that as you're going out, maybe you have something to digest. Yeah. If you didn't come to the service, you didn't do it. Something that can just get the wheels turning, just to get them thinking about the gospel. Yeah. Maybe they need to think about it. Maybe they haven't.
People love that.
Yeah. And people are responding to that, and people are looking at it's almost like it poses a question. That specific one I'm thinking of right now, it does pose a question. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. You can't not think about that after that. I don't think you can, personally.
Yeah. You got to, going off what you're saying, you got to think of what's something, when I think of a micro message, like you've been doing, which have been fantastic. I love them. What can you send to somebody that is not involved in church whatsoever? They're not going to listen to a whole sermon, more than likely.
Yes, exactly.
But if you can get a snippet, something less than a minute or so into their life.
Yeah. An elevator pitch. That's exactly. You have that brief amount of time to get to them, and they're great. And you can just send them. I share them, and I mean, I think people are watching that more than than when I share the long version. The long version. Go ahead, say it, Megan. No. But I think it's something quick,
We're doing this without advertising. That you used the word organic. That's what we're receiving. That's the cool thing about all these little different platforms, is that they're organically responding to it. They're organically sharing these things, and in a sense, they are participants in the spreading of the gospel. And that's the cool factor for me, is that we put something out and they get to participate in it.
They're no longer spectators. Now they're actually
they're
sharing the gospel.
Right.
And they probably never even realized that they're sharing the gospel, because they're thinking, I didn't sit down and share 3 points in a poem, or I didn't share a faith outline and ask someone to accept Christ. But that is actively sharing the gospel when they put that out there.
Right.
What are the other things that you're doing?
We're doing Sunday school videos. Yeah, I know initially we did that over the Lifeway platform. I think that was a big hit during COVID. We did have to reimagine those a little bit, because most of the people are back in church again, and they don't really need that. So now we're kind of using those videos as a mechanism to point to Sunday school where you need to go, because for me, and I think y'all share this thought. I think some of us are concerned that people are really comfortable at home. Yeah. And now we're trying to take our media ministry and saying, hey, look what's happening over here. Come, please.
And the small group.
We need to be together. We need to be together worshiping. We need to, I don't know if the verse counts when 2 or 3 are gathered online in your name. I don't know. It may, but I just since online wasn't in the passage, I just don't know. I think it's really important that we are coming together, and so we're refocusing those things. We do have a new website in development, very slowly, unfortunately, but we are working those things out, and we are working on a new church app. We have a church app right now, and it works pretty well. It's a little difficult to set up in the front end, and we realize that, so we're trying to address that, and we're trying to do something that's more branded to our church, so that you can quickly find us, find your church home.
Well, and perhaps I think one of the most important things that you're doing is building a team around you.
I'm trying.
Equipping people to come alongside you and minister and guide them in ministry.
Right.
So what are the ways that people can get involved? What are some things that they would be doing? I mean, because I think that's the biggest question a lot of people have is, that's great, but I don't know how to, run a camera or direct a video or develop an app. What would they do?
If you go right now, and I believe it's on Instagram, and I think it's on Facebook, we did produce a video recently that points them to our production crew. You said something to me that stayed with me, and I agree with, that it's not just me. We need to multiply. We need to do. The point is, it used to be that, the thought was that ministry is only teaching and singing, and that's about it, or you're going to preach. That's not the case. This is a ministry too, and those people who are not gifted in those areas are probably not gifted in those areas for a reason. Maybe they're gifted in these areas, and they need to explore that and see what God's going to do through them. And I actually do like to teach. I inadvertently had to teach a lot, because when I was a news director, we were a small enough TV station that I always got the green reporter straight out of college, and always wound up having that. But I found out I really enjoyed doing that. So that's another ministry for me.
Something awesome that you're doing right now is, we have our children's missions on Wednesday nights, and we do the missions aspect portion first, and then the kids get to pick a learning track.
And that's been really fun.
It's been awesome. The kids love it.
I had a couple of guys that come in, and they are so passionate about it. I'm almost ready to put them in there. It's just that the times that I need them is when they should be in Sunday school and sitting. Right. But not that I can't use them in other ways, and I'm excited about that. There's other things that are in development that they can plug into.
This is definitely one of the fastest growing, not just in church world in general, but in specifically First Baptist, one of the fastest growing ministry areas, because this can touch so many different areas in Sunday school. This can touch so many different people in ways that even 6 months ago we wouldn't have imagined, because of its expanse, its reach, and people can be involved in it in ways that they never imagined. from children to youth to senior adults.
Yeah.
We've had senior adult Sunday school class, one of our senior adult ladies class. They're doing Zoom Sunday school and still doing it. Half the group shows up for Sunday school, another half join them on Zoom.
Right.
I would have never imagined one of our senior adult Sunday school groups would have been doing a Zoom Sunday school class, and they love it.
Getting after it.
They are. And so I'm excited about all the different ways that technology can be used to minister and reach people where they are and how they can be involved in it. Because not everyone wants to be in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. We need more people behind the camera than we do in front.
Absolutely. Right. And, with that, please come find me. I will find a place for you to serve. I need more people so that I can expand even more. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Yeah. I need people to plug in so that I can do all these other neat little ideas that we've been discussing before that we're not necessarily talking about right now. But there are big things I know God is wanting to just push it even further, but I have to get myself freed up a little bit more to do those things.
Now, do you have an email address they can reach you at?
Ben, B-E-N, very simple, at fbcbm.com.
The easiest and fastest way for them to just shoot you a quick email?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
that would be great, and I will do everything to find a way to plug those individuals.
And the job requirements are what?
Yes.
That's right.
They don't have to know anything.
That's really,
right.
This is ground level, and we just go up from there. You just need to be.
Ben. If we could do this, take someone like Ben, he will make you a superstar at it.
You do have to want it, though, and you do. If you don't like it, it's not going to be fun. It really isn't. It's going to be miserable, and I've seen that side of it.
But it's kind of a little gratifying. I mean, when we were making those videos to edit and put them together, it's like instant gratification. You've got this video that you turn, that was just raw footage that you've created. So it's it's cool. Yeah,
you might not realize that you enjoy it.
Right.
Until you try it.
Well, I'm excited about the future that God has here, how he's going to continue to use you in First Baptist, and how you're going to expand the ministries that we have at First Baptist. I mean, who would have ever thought Dr. Chip Starnes would be a TikTok star in 2020?
You're welcome.
But that's the really cool thing. Is the only thing that limits us is God's imagination, and we know that is unlimited. Yep. So we are open to whatever it is he wants to do, and I'm excited to be here and watch him work and do really cool things. So thanks for joining us here on the 507. Now, some of you are asking, what is the 507? Aren't you asking that, Dr. Chip?
Yep.
Dr. Chip want to know, what is 507? Is this MASH or something? Well, we were thinking, what would make it specifically Bay Minette? Well, our zip code is 36507. So the 507 specifically Bay Minette. That's where we are, but this has a much broader implications and ranges for that. As a lot of others, people across the country tune in every week. We'll begin watching and hearing these, listening to them while they're driving. Like I said, it's just amazing what God is going to do here and just use us because we're just willing to be used for whatever it is he wants. So thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. If you would be interested in being a part of the podcast, let us know. Holler at Ben, drop him a line, and we'll be glad to go from there. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.